We've just heard the Passion narrative again for the second time this week. We heard it on Palm Sunday, and we hear it again today on Good Friday. And we might ask ourselves, what's so good about this? What's so good about Good Friday? Isn't the gospel supposed to be the good news? What's going on? Are we morbid? No. For us, the good news is that God himself has taken up the same cross that all of us carry. That he has united himself to the human experience in an unimaginable and completely surprising way. For none of us like to think about the reality that will come at the end of our earthly journey. How many of us even think or are able to think for more than 2 minutes about that final scene of our own life, our own passion? Who would be in the room with us? Where would it be? What month would it be? What would we feel in our heart? What would we be saying to those with us? Would we have regrets? Would we be glad and grateful for decisions we've made or for the life we lived? Or not? We don't like to think of it, but today it's front and center. Because God himself has died, has undergone that fundamental human experience that touches every person. But for us, this day is not the end. Darkness, sin, and death will have their day, but that day will pass, and that reign will end. But it only ends by following this path. For Jesus himself came and for 3 years walked to many places, visited many houses, entered into the lives of many people. He journeyed everywhere, just like you and I who have journeyed so many places in our lives. Our feet have taken us far. Our mind, our hopes, our dreams have brought us to where we are at today. But if we continue to follow Jesus, eventually it will lead us to the cross. And this lies wherein lies the challenge. For we know that in the gospel, most of his followers left Jesus when he journeyed to the cross. Why? I suggest because of fear. Fear led them away from Jesus. Fear led them away from the cross. Fear led them back to a solitary life by themselves. Fear led them to a place where Jesus was not present. But the Lord himself, why did he go to the cross? If not because of love. It was love that led him to the cross, because he knew if he offered his life as a sacrifice to God in atonement for all of the brokenness in our world that ever was or ever will be, that it would be the perfect sacrifice for all human beings to have that spiritual power broken where we are blinded by sin and darkness, and then now brought into redemption, brought into the fullness of life that comes after 3 days in the tomb. For us, it is only a love rooted in God that can take us to the cross. And if we embrace the cross, our love will be purified, and God too will raise us from the dead. But sin and death must have its moment. And we must embrace evil in our lives and in our world with love and with a willingness to be crucified with our King. What's so good about Good Friday is that the world has been saved, whether we acknowledge it or not.